What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be on my OP Twilight Paragon Smite build. If you use my Frostbolt Deep Freeze build guide and maybe looking for a new build to graduate to, this build is that next step up in difficulty and gameplay, but rewards you with more DPS. And at the end of the day, more DPS is the only thing that matters, right? The rotation is fairly easy. You get to use some really powerful cooldowns, and the hybrid between Holy and Shadow is really cool to play. I hope you guys give this build a try, because if you haven't already, I promise it's going to be a ton of fun. If these build guides help you and you want to show me some love back, remember that it only takes a few seconds, but subscribing below and leaving a like will help get this video out to as many people as possible. Let's dive into this video. So I just wanted to give you guys kind of a behind the scenes of what goes into actually making these guides. This was supposed to be a one-button smite spam build, and just being honest here, it was weaker than Frostbolt in every way. No matter what I did, I couldn't get it to a place where I was happy enough to share it. So I was thinking, well, I'm already using the RE to gain 10% free crit chance on Smite. Why not just try and make it into the real thing? I changed just a few things and bam, gained a ton of DPS for almost no extra work. Sometimes I get so focused on one thing without considering other options, I could be leaving free performance on the table. Don't be afraid to be wrong and try something new. You know what we got to do to make it a proper build guide. We got to go over the REs and stat priority for this build. For the first time ever, I'm using the legendary RE Twilight Paragon. This random enchant has been an absolute all-star over on Area 52 for a long time, and I know some of our biggest DPS boys out there have used this one in the past. There's a lot of words on this thing, but let's boil it down to the basics. We get a stacking crit chance to our Smite spell, stacking up to 10 times, and at 10 stacks after casting Exorcism, you go into a pseudo shadow form where you just spam Mind Flay. Pretty simple when you break it down, so don't be intimidated to dive headfirst into the build. The three epic REs I used for this build are Twisted Mind, Pendulum, and Bright Lights. Twisted Mind is a returning RE from our last build guide, and it's just as strong here as well. I haven't been able to find an RE that can outshine this yet, and you know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If anyone hasn't seen my last video, and if you haven't, shame on you, it gives you a flat 120 spell power and 3% hit chance. I can't think of anything else to say about this one. It's a powerhouse. Bright Lights is a fairly simple RE. You get 3% holy spell damage and 3% spell haste after using Holy Fire if you have the Lights Grace talent. Luckily, we do, so no need to worry. I wouldn't leave you guys hanging. Pendulum is such a nice and easy RE to use. You either get 3% haste or 3% crit depending on how much mana you have. And you will see when you play this build, you may notice more often than not, it's just 3% haste, which is a perfectly strong RE to use. The rest of the REs used for this build are as follows: 3 Master Conjurer, 2 Accurate Smite, 2 Accurate Holy Fire, 2 Accurate Mind Flay, 1 Balance of Power, 1 Precision, 1 Empowering Smite, and 1 Holy Power. The stat priority for this build is as follows: hit until 17%, Spirit, Spell Power, Haste, then Crit Rating. Moving on to the talent tree and spells that we use for this build. It's a tradition at this point around here, so as always, we will go left to right, so feel free to follow along as we go over this together. Starting here in the Hunter tree, the spell we take here is Feign Death. Over in the Mage tree, in the Arcane, the spells we take here is Arcane Intellect, Blink, and Alter Time. The talents we take here are 3 points into Student of the Mind and 1 point into Arcane Power. Over here in the Fire tree, the spell we take here is Molten Armor. Over in the Frost tree, the only talent point we take here is Icy Veins. Over here in the Paladin tree, the spell we take here is Exorcism. The talents we take here are 2 points into Holy Power and 3 points into Light's Grace. Over in the Protection tree, the spell we take here is Blessing of Kings. Over in Retribution, the talent we take here is 3 points into Crusade. Over in the Priest talent tree is where we spend the most of our points. The spell we take here is Inner Fire and Divine Spirit. The talents we take here are 5 points into Twin Disciplines, 3 points into Meditation, and 1 point into Power Infusion. Over in the Holy Tree, the spells we take here are Smite and Holy Fire. The talents we take here are 5 points into Searing Light and 2 points into Surge of Light. Over in the Shadow Tree, the talents we take here are 3 points into Spirit Tap, 2 points into Improved Spirit Tap, 1 point into Mind Flay, 5 points into Shadow Power, and 3 points into Misery. Over in the Shaman tree, the talent we take here is 3 points into Raise, and over in Enhancement Shaman, the spell we take here is Flame Tongue Totem. The last points we use are over here in Warlock. The spell we take here is Curse of the Elements. Over in Demonology, the spells we take here are Summon Imp, Soul Harvest, Create Spellstone, and Fell Armor. And the last 5 talent points we take are 2 points into Master Conjurer and 3 points into Demonic Knowledge. Like we always do here on this channel, we gotta talk about the rotation and give you all some gameplay explanation. This one will be a tad more involved, so I'll pull up a still image of the rotation that we will use for this build. Feel free to pause here or take a screenshot so you have a cheat sheet to work with. We start things off with a Mind Flay. This will apply the 3% hit debuff to the target to ensure we don't miss any of our abilities from here on in. Cast your cooldowns, then cast Holy Fire to trigger the Light Grace talent. Spam Smite until you have 9 stacks of Twilight Paragon, then cast Holy Fire again. You will want to have as much uptime on your Bright Lights buff going into the Twilight Paragon phase because that's where the majority of your damage comes from. At 10 stacks, you cast your Exorcism to trigger the Shadow form, and from here you spam your Mind Flay until the buff wears off. From here you just repeat this cycle. Holy Fire into Smite until 9 stacks, Holy Fire again to reach 10 stacks, cast Exorcism, then spam Mind Flay, using cooldowns of course when you can. Let me jump in game so I can show you guys what it looks like in real time. This will be the unscripted part of the video, so please forgive me if I sound a little rambly. Alright, here we are in game. I want to give you guys an idea of what this looks like in real time. Let me go ahead and apply the major spellstones before we get started. Get these casted, and we should be good to go. Alright, as I said before, we start things off with a Mind Flay, and then we look to use Holy Fire, and then use some cooldowns and spam Smite. So this is kind of what it looks like. So you use Mind Flay, get 1 trigger, use Holy Fire, then cast your cooldowns. At this point, all you're doing is spamming Smite. You'll see the Twilight Paragon stacks coming up here in the top right of my screen. Get up to 7 stacks. 9 stacks, use Holy Fire, cast Exorcism, then Mind Flay. Super easy. And once the Twilight Paragon, buff wears off, right towards the tail end of it, I look to use Holy Fire, and then just keep casting Smite. Use my cooldowns when I can, and you know I gotta click them just to make all the people angry. Alright, we're getting again up to 9 stacks. Here we go, 8 stacks, 9 stacks, Holy Fire, Exorcism into Mind Flay. Super easy. You'll see some really nasty crits, especially when you have some buffs and some debuffs on the target. But that's the entire rotation, guys. Not too bad. It wouldn't be a proper build guide if I didn't show you guys the 5-minute Patchwerk dummy test. Grab a drink and enjoy the footage. I will check back in with you guys after this for the build guide wrap up. That's going to be it for this build guide, everyone. I want you guys to really try this build and get your hands dirty with it. It has been a ton of fun putting it together, and I know you guys will like it when you actually start playing it too. And with that, this video is done. Subscribe below for more content. I will see you in the next one.